Hey guys, welcome back to Fantasy Tipped. Julian here for another exciting episode. This one is the Week 4 waiver wire video. It's the video where I let you guys know which players you should consider adding to your team to improve it or to help you stream for the week and win the week. Before we start, guys, drop a like and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Trying to hit 10,000 subscribers this year. I know it's an ambitious goal, but I would absolutely love to hit that milestone. So if you've been watching my channel, definitely I would really appreciate it if you hit that button. And if you do want to take your support to the next level, guys, link to my Patreon is down below, or you can hit that join button on YouTube and you unlock the ability to get early access videos, and you get to DM with me one-on-one, ask me any fantasy hockey questions you need if you do join on Patreon. Enough about that, guys, and let's jump straight into the schedule for week 4. Now, it is Halloween week this week, so happy Halloween, everybody. Hopefully, your team can go on a great run this week. Now, on Monday, October 27th, there are only 2 games. On Tuesday, actually, every single team in the NHL plays. On Wednesday, there's only 1 game. On Thursday, there are 11. On Friday, 3. On Saturday, 13. And on Sunday, 5. The off days are Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday, as all of those days have less than half the teams in the NHL playing. So you probably have room in your lineup on those 4 days, and you probably don't have room in your lineup on the other 3 days, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, especially not Tuesday, because obviously your whole lineup will be starting. You're definitely benching players on Tuesday. Now, who has the best schedule? Well, there are 4 teams with 2 off days. There are no teams with more than 2 off days, which is a little bit sad, but 2 off days still isn't bad. So Columbus, Detroit, the New York Islanders, and Anaheim all have 2 off days, whereas Columbus, Detroit, and New York all play 4 games as well. Anaheim only plays 3, but still 2 off days is good, Friday and Sunday. And then there are a few teams that play 4 games, which is good. Boston, Calgary, Columbus, Detroit, New Jersey, New York Islanders, Ottawa, Philly, Pittsburgh, San Jose, and St. Louis. So all players from those teams will be playing 4 games this week. Now, as for the worst schedules, there are actually 5 teams that only play 2 games, which is definitely not ideal for your fantasy team this week. Hopefully you don't have too many players from these teams. Florida, Montreal, Seattle, Utah, and Vegas are the teams. So if you have any really low-owned players from these teams, like a Tolvanen or a Chandler Stevenson, you could consider dropping them for the week. Jumping into some forward options now, guys, and first on the list is Matthew Barzal of the New York Islanders, playing top line, top power play in New York. Hasn't had a bad start to the season. If I'm remembering correctly, he has 5 points through 6 games, and I think he's definitely got more to give than that. I think he could easily be a point-per-game player this season. The deployment's good, and he's going to continue to thrive. And with 4 games this week, including 2 off days, Barzal is a must-add in all leagues. Cutter Gauthier of the Anaheim Ducks and Chris Kreider of the Anaheim Ducks are playing on the first and second line, respectively. Whatever you want to call that first and second line. Either way, both are playing really, really well right now, and Anaheim's got a couple of off nights this week as well. Sean Monahan also has a couple of off nights this week. Now, Monahan hasn't had exactly the best start to the season. He's only got 1 point so far, but his deployment is really, really good. Top line and top power play. I think it's only a matter of time before he explodes. I think that on a week where Columbus has 4 games, 2 on-off nights, it's a good streamer. Then Zach Benson of the Buffalo Sabres, 34% owned, has been doing really, really good since returning from injury. He seems to be scoring points left and right. He's getting top line and top power play deployment. This may be the year where he breaks out finally. Emmett Finney. Now, while I don't think that he's going to end up being a season-long hold, he's playing really well right now, and he's getting top-line deployment with Dylan Larkin. That ain't bad. And Detroit does have a couple of off nights this week, so he's definitely at least a good streamer for this week. Now, Connor Garland is also playing on the top line with Elias Pettersson and Jake DeBrusk, and is getting top power play time. Now, Besser may be back really soon, so Garland could get knocked back down to the second line, but he still could retain that top power play spot, and he's been playing really good lately, so it would be kind of dumb to knock him off the top power play. Pavel Zacha of the Boston Bruins, surprisingly, has been playing really good to start the season. So with Boston having 4 games this week, why not stream him while he's hot? Josh Jones is another one who's playing excellently to start the year. He's playing in the top 6, and he's also playing on the top power play. Now, he is playing as a left winger, so he should gain that left wing eligibility soon. Fingers crossed that it will be this week, but you never know with Yahoo, guys. They're so weird at adding things sometimes. But Josh Jones has definitely shown that he's a decent fantasy option this season. And Kent Johnson. Now, I had him in the trending down video, but I said, don't drop him if you don't have to. I think Kent Johnson's still going to have an awesome year. And look at that, guys. He's got 2 points in his last 2 games. He's still got triple eligibility, which is awesome. And now he's in the top 6 and is on the top power play. I'm liking Kent Johnson, especially this week on a week where Columbus plays 4 games with 2 of them being on off nights. Dmitry Voronkov is also getting great deployment and has been playing phenomenal to start the year. I'm actually surprised he's only owned in 18% of leagues still. He's top line and top power play now in Columbus. Yeah, I like me some of that, especially once again, guys, on a great week for them schedule-wise. Troy Terry of the Anaheim Ducks doesn't get enough love. He's on the top power play. He's getting some pretty good deployment, and he's been playing pretty well to start the year. Beckett Seneca has been playing for the most part online with Gauthier and McTavish. Gauthier moved up when Kreider got injured, but I expect Gauthier to move back down. Either way, for the time being, Vatrano's on that line, which isn't bad either. I like Vatrano a lot. So Seneca is also pretty solid on a week where the Ducks have a couple off nights, Friday and Sunday. And then Jackson Blake of the Carolina Hurricanes is somebody that I think isn't getting noticed a whole lot right now, but he's playing on the second line in Carolina and is on their top power play. They knocked Svechnikov off that top unit, and Jackson Blake has been playing there, and he hasn't been too bad so far this year, so he's somebody that you can consider adding as well. Kyle Palmieri of the New York Islanders is playing on what I probably would consider the first line in New York with Duclair as well as Matt Barzal. And honestly, so far, he's been pretty good, and he's also getting top power play time. So in deep leagues, you need a couple off nights. That's an awesome ad. Next, how about a little love for Philly's second line? Like, they're buzzing right now. They have 4 games this week, and they've been producing really, really well over the past couple weeks, honestly. And Cates, Forrester, and even Bobby Brink, who you don't see on the screen, are all options for this week. Emil Heineman is also somebody who I had brought up on the very first waiver wire video of the year. At the time, it looked like he might get top power play time. Well, he's not getting that, but he's on what you could consider the top line in New York with Bo Horvat and Jonathan Drouin, and he's also giving himself a very, very safe floor every single night with like lots and lots of hits, which is awesome. And he's actually been scoring points as well. So definitely someone who's good for a week where the Islanders have a couple off nights. Arseny Gritsyuk is also somebody who plays 4 games this week and is playing on a line right now with Nico Hischier. They like the way he's looking. He wasn't getting that high deployment before, but the fact that he's moving up the lineup like that is a good sign, and he could definitely score some points this week. Anthony Mantha, surprisingly, is still only 1% rostered. Now, I definitely don't think Mantha is going to be a season-long hold, but if you had told me before the season started that the line of Malkin, Mantha, and Brazo would be one of the best lines to start the season, I would have told you to get off whatever drugs you were on, stop it with the crack. Like, that's absolute insanity. But here we are, guys. Somehow this line has been really producing well. And while they're hot, you might as well stream them. And again, Pittsburgh has 4 games this week, so you definitely could do worse than a deep league. And finally, I had a bonus one here for you guys in deep leagues. Luke Evangelista is actually getting top line and top power play time. He's playing on a line with Philip Forsberg and Ryan O'Reilly, which ain't bad. Obviously, he hasn't done a whole lot yet, but they clearly want to get this guy going, and they clearly want him to break out. As far as defense go, Jake Wallman is definitely a must-add. Finally came back from injury and had a phenomenal game. Scored a goal, 2 shots, a hit, and 4 blocks. That's really, really good. Now, obviously, the dude's not getting top power play time with Bouchard on the team, so I wouldn't expect a crazy amount of offensive production. But that kind of floor with just those peripherals is really, really good. And he still should be able to score a point every couple of games or so playing on a pretty good Edmonton Oilers team. Now, Nikita Zadorov has always been a really solid peripherals guy. And this week, he does get 4 games. And he's actually been kind of phenomenal to start the year. Not only has he been putting up really good peripherals, he's actually been putting up quite a few points. Now, we can't expect that to continue, but the peripherals, hopefully he can keep that up. Sam Rinzel is somebody who I think I've had on every single waiver wire video this year, and for good reason. He's a top power play guy in Chicago, hasn't been looking too bad, and he's probably going to get quite a bit of points this season, especially if you're in a pure points league. Rinzel is definitely an awesome ad. Jacob Trouba of the Anaheim Ducks is doing decently also to start the year. His peripherals have been pretty good, surprisingly hitting a lot more than last year and blocking a little bit less, but overall the balance is still pretty good, so the floor is there, and he's been putting up a little bit of points as well, which is what we're used to from Jacob Trouba, so I really don't mind that. And then Dmitry Orlov of the San Jose Sharks. Now, as of this recording, Klingberg could be back tonight, the Thursday night that I'm recording this. So if he is, my apologies. Klingberg probably is back on the top power play. If Klingberg is not back, then Dmitry Orlov is the top power play guy in San Jose. If he does get moved off the top power play, though, when Klingberg returns, he's probably a drop since his floor is not good enough to me. Next, we have Ivan Provorov of the Columbus Blue Jackets, and he's definitely not my favorite option, but we're kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel here with these low-owned defensemen. And Columbus does have 4 games this week, with 2 of them being on off nights. So if you are actually full on defense on your busy nights, you can still get a couple games from Provorov on the off nights, which isn't awful. Brett Pesce of the New Jersey Devils has been giving a pretty safe floor night in and out, mostly with blocks, and is actually putting up like some points, which you can't really think is too sustainable, but he is getting a lot of ice time. So there's definitely opportunities for them, and he is with Luke Hughes. So there's definitely chances for him to put up points, and on a week where the Devils play 4 games, you could do worse than a deep league. Nick Seeler, he also gives you a pretty safe floor every game, and this season he's been doing that with the exception of 1 game. And on a week with 4 games, you could do worse than him as well. Then Cam York is the power play 2 quarterback now in Philly, and recently power play 2 has been getting more ice time than power play 1, and he did record 3 assists last game. Problem is with him, if he doesn't score a point, he's kind of a donut man. But hey, if you're desperate for a guy who can absolutely boom on any given night, I mean, Cam York is pretty solid. And finally, Mario Ferraro, 1% rostered. He was 0% rostered last week when I brought him up, but I guess a few people added him. His peripherals have been pretty solid to start the year. He's actually been putting up a couple points recently as well, so definitely can't go wrong there. I did search for another defenseman with 0% rostered, and I just couldn't do it, man. I actually had Brett Pesce when he was 0% rostered. I added him in the Fantasy Tip Members League. I was planning on bringing him up as a 0% rostered defenseman. But people noticed, and he's up to 5% now. So unfortunately, I couldn't find anyone who looked half decent as a 0% rostered. Guys, if you guys see somebody that's 0% rostered, let me know down in the comments, and I'll let you know if I agree with you that he could be added in a deep league. As far as goalies go, we have Spencer Knight of the Chicago Blackhawks, 56% rostered, and he has been absolutely awesome to start the year. He's looked really good, and he's the clear starter right now in Chicago. Then we have Cam Talbot and John Gibson, who are 40% and 35% rostered, and they're splitting the starts fairly evenly. It's kind of hard to predict who's going to start where, but it looks like they're going to split the starts fairly evenly for the remainder of the year. Then we have Jet Greaves and Elvis Merzlikins of the Columbus Blue Jackets, and if you had any doubt that they were going to split this week, they have 2 sets of back-to-backs, so guaranteed they're both getting 2 starts this week, and Merzlikins is only 13% rostered, so for those of you in deep leagues, that's a pretty good ad, and he's actually been playing pretty well so far. Jake Allen is the starter in New Jersey, with Markstrom being injured, and until Markstrom's back, Jake Allen has actually been playing pretty good. Then we have Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, or 6K as I like to call him, and Alex Lyon, who are probably going to split starts in Buffalo. As of this recording, Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen is in the minors on a conditioning stint. But even as early as this video goes live, Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen could be back, and I don't think they're just going to give the net away to him just because Lyon has been so good. I think they're going to split starts. So both are viable, and both guys should get their fair share of starts going forward. I was going to include Dobish here because he's been pretty good and has been stealing a few starts from Montembeault, but I'm not really sure he's going to be the starting goalie for Montreal. And also, the Habs only play 2 games this week, and realistically, he could start only 1 or even 0 of those games if they want to give him both to Montembeault. Now, Akira Schmid of the Vegas Golden Knights is 23% rostered and is the starting goalie in Vegas because Adin Hill is injured once again. Now, you don't have to be worried about Carter Hart until December 1st because that's when he's eligible to play. So until then, Akira Schmid could be the starter unless Hill's able to come back earlier, which it really doesn't seem like it's going to happen. Then Askarov and Nedeljkovic are splitting starts in San Jose, and I know they haven't won a single game yet, San Jose. They absolutely suck, but if you're in a points-based league and you really need somebody who's getting starts, well, those guys are both getting starts, and Nedeljkovic's only 2% rostered, so that's definitely a super deep league option. Then we have Silovs and Jari of Pittsburgh Penguins who are splitting starts and have actually been playing pretty well. Pittsburgh's been playing weirdly well. I don't know if that's going to last. I don't think it's going to last, but hey, for now, why not? And then Darth Vader of the Philadelphia Flyers has been really good. And he's completely seized that starting goalie position now. And he's now starting his 3rd game in a row tonight when I'm recording this. So yeah, he's definitely starting goalie right now in Philly. So go ahead and add him. And finally, I have Brandon Bussi of the Carolina Hurricanes. And it looks like he's been starting just about every second game in Carolina. Why is that? It's not because Frederik Andersen sucks. It's mostly just because they want to keep him healthy. The dude is so injury prone. It wouldn't make sense to start Andersen all the time. So Bussi's been playing, and Bussi's actually been playing well. Until Kochetkov comes back, he could see just about every second start in Carolina, which is not bad. And that's it for this video, guys. If you enjoyed it, drop a like and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And I'll catch you all in the next episode of Fantasy Tipped.